Time's expired. I guess we'll address more of these in a closed setting.
Thank you, Senator Cotton. Senator Gillibrand, please.
General Cavoli, last year we passed the Justice for Victims of War Crimes Act, improving the Department of Justice's ability to prosecute war crimes committed in Ukraine. However, prosecutors, whether in the U.S. or in an international tribunal, cannot proceed with cases without evidence. How is EUCOM working with Ukraine and with our allies to preserve evidence of war crimes? If your personnel discover evidence of a war crime through classified systems, are you ensuring that the evidence is flagged for declassification and eventual use by prosecutors?
Senator, thank you. So we don't have the lead on this question, on this initiative, obviously, but we do support it as requested. And when we find evidence of war crimes, whether in open sources or any other way, we do refer those and we do keep track of it. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The war in Ukraine has allowed the world to observe wartime operations in the cyber and space domains. As the combatant commander in the theater where this conflict is occurring, what have you learned from the conflict about the employment of military forces in the cyber and space domains?
We've learned a ton, both in terms of adversary capability and capacity, Senator, as well as our defensive needs. We're working hard to improve where we need to improve. Most of all, we're working to help our allies defend their networks and to help our partners who are vulnerable also to defend their networks. And we have a very tight cooperation with Paul Nakasone and his U.S. Cyber Command to do this. There are some specific things, of course, that at a classified level would be interesting to talk about. But in general, we have seen a significant employment of cyber, both inside the conflict zone and outside the conflict zone on the part of our adversaries, ma'am.
General Van Oost, Transcom is turning over responsibility for service members' permanent change of station moves to a private contractor. How will the department ensure that service members' experience actually improves under this contract? How does the department intend to respond if military families' experience worsen rather than improve?
Senator, thanks for that question. We are focused on delivering the quality service, transparency, and accountability that is not existent in the current series of contracts. So we are partnering with HomeSafe, and we have a measured phase-in plan with 28 separate metrics monthly that we'll be reviewing, for which we own the data. So we are going to continue to watch them as they bring on the capacity, as they begin right after peak season, September 23. And we have a spouses group where we are getting feedback from, actively seeking from them their experiences. So, and our first sample rate is going to be about 50%. So we are going to definitely be understanding how they're bringing on the capacity and are they delivering on the quality that we desire.
Thank you. Part of your strategy for Transcom has involved the increased use of commercial contracts for defense missions rather than military aircraft and crews. Can you discuss how you are ensuring that these contracts are implementing appropriate and aggressive cybersecurity protocols? How are you including cybersecurity in these contracts, and how are you verifying that these contractors are not endangering the security of our military personnel or allies?
Senator, cyber is a consistent discussion point amongst us and our contract or transportation service providers. We are collaborating with industry. We have contract cybersecurity standards to safeguard defense information in those contracts. They annually assess them, and we review those assessments. And we are working throughout the department with Paul Nakasone on sharing and collaboration initiatives with our industry partners. And I appreciate Congress's support of the no-cost cybersecurity offerings offered in the Cyber Collaboration Center and the Defense Industrial-Based Cyber Security Program. Our transportation service providers are taking advantage of these, and we are assessing them almost constantly.
General Cavoli, following up on Senator Shaheen's question and Senator Hirono's question about Iran and China, can you talk a little bit more about what the impact of Iranian involvement and Chinese involvement in the conflict create, and what recommendations you have to the administration?
Yes, ma'am. So the first complication is diplomatic and political, right? The fact that they don't condemn, the fact that in some cases they affirm Russia's position. Second, Iran, as we noted a few minutes ago, has provided some material support, specifically drones. Those have had an effect. Those do two things. First, when they succeed, they strike targets. And second, they have to be countered, and sometimes they're countered with air defense missiles. And as Chairman Milley and Secretary Austin have made very plain, the primary requirement the Ukrainians have right now is ground-based air defense to control their skies. So it's a cost imposition strategy that you can go after with that. Chinese aid has been non-material. It has not had a direct physical effect on the battlefield yet, ma'am.
Any other impact non-material?
In closed session, I could discuss one specific one, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Gillibrand. Senator Rounds, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.